Hi there, it's Maggie from Personal Euphoria today with a movement tip. One thing someone had asked me about is gait and how to have a healthy gait, and that would be an extremely long video. And in fact, our Happy Hips and Happy Low Back workshop encompasses a lot of a workshop we used to do that had to do with gait, because a healthy gait is affected by your hips and low back. So one of the places to get started, we're going to go over one exercise, is to make sure that you actually are strong in the sides of your pelvis, which is really glute muscles, right? So very often, people, I call it the old man shuffle. So if you see someone, an older man, and he kind of shuffle steps, or if you feel that you more kind of like shift your weight side to side when you walk, part of that is you might be trying to diminish some knee pain you have, but that knee pain might in part stem from weak glute muscles in your hips and pelvis. And the reason those muscles need to be strong for a healthy gait is because when you walk, there is a moment that you have to balance on each leg without the other one in the air, because as one leg swings forward or back, you are totally dependent on the strength of that single leg. And if your body doesn't feel like it has the strength, you wind up in that sort of shuffle step or that kind of shift of your weight as you walk, right? So there's lots of different movements you could do, and depending on what's going on in your body, you might want to pick a different one. But one place to certainly get started is a basic and simple leg lift. So I'm going to try to make sure you can see me here. Now, this seems simple, but doing it right is key, because if you do a big leg lift and you think Jane Fonda style, well, those muscles can't do that full range. So now your abs are getting involved, and actually your back, it's not really targeting the sides of the pelvis. You want to feel that work literally down the side of your hip, maybe slightly back like a crescent moon shape. So the work would be right here, or maybe kind of take this shape here, okay? So it's much smaller. You want to lay yourself out flat, and I'm using my bottom arm as a pillow, and then you want to lift your bottom ribs off the ground. So there's a little bit of space between your bottom ribs, and the reason you want to do that is because if I collapse in the waist, this hip hikes, and now I'm not going to get as effective work there. So I'm lifting in the waist so that I can stack my hips on top of each other, and now this hip is level with this one. From there, it's a really small move. I only bring the leg up to hip height and go up and down, okay? If I hold my pelvis here, I can't really bring my leg much higher without moving my hip. Now, often what you'll see people do to lift that leg is they move the pelvis. And do you see how I can actually do the same leg lift, but now it's my pelvis moving and my whole waist gets involved? That might be your tendency if you're someone that kind of shuffle steps. So you really want to work to try to keep the pelvis stable and get used to moving that leg independent from the pelvis. So it's core work. My abs are what I use to keep the pelvis still when I move that leg. And if you keep that bottom rib lifted and you keep that length in the leg, as if that top leg is reaching longer than the bottom leg, and you do that controlled small leg lift, you're gonna feel that glute very quickly. Like you might only need to do 1 set of 10, maybe 2 sets of 10, and then that's plenty. You don't need to fatigue that muscle. If you think, gosh, I feel like I'm doing everything she says and I still don't feel it here, one thing to play with is if you tend to turn in or turn out, it might change how you feel that. Ideally, you want your knee pointed forward, not rotated to the floor as you lift, not rotated up. Those can target that muscle a little bit differently, but if you're not sure you're feeling it, make sure that knee is forward, make sure those hips are stacked, and you've got a long reach out your leg. So play with that, see if that gives you a sensation of work right in the side of the pelvis, And if it doesn't, then post a question in the comments and we'll try to figure out the answer for you from there, right? Because everybody's body's a little different. So the cues or the tricks that work for one person don't always work for everyone. So we'll try our best to make you find that fabulous glute medius muscle, right? Your medium-sized butt muscle, so that you can have a smooth, balanced gait. But whatever you do, have fun playing and keep moving. Have a great day.